Heyo everybody, Haku here with a review. I just want to talk for a bit about Mairimashita Iruma-kun Season 2. I really loved it. I loved Season 1. So my thing is, usually when I do these anime reviews, I'm like, okay, I'll be kind of spoiler-free, talk about things in general, because I want them also to serve as a recommendation for everybody watching. But when we're on like the second season of something, it's like, okay, a bunch of you have probably already seen it. So I still won't, just in case anybody's looking to use this as a recommendation, I won't go into anything crazy spoilery. I don't really think there's anything crazy spoilery to say, but I will just talk a little bit more in detail. I'm not going to break down episode by episode or anything. That would just take a really, really long time, and this is just to give you my general thoughts. But either way, at the beginning, I like to say that this was based on a manga. I usually like to say what the source was and who animated it. It was done by Bandai Namco Pictures. So this, like I was saying, I really enjoyed. I liked Season 1 a lot, and here again, I don't know. I don't like comparing it to Season 1. I think they were both good, but both in different ways. Season 1 was good at surprising me because I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I really, really, really loved it. And this, I knew what to expect, so it didn't surprise me as much. It was a little bit less episodic here, and we got into more like continuing story arcs, and I think that was really, really good. One thing that I really, really love about Mairimashita Iruma-kun is that it really, really reminds me of a lot of anime from I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s. A little bit, I may be old, but a little bit before my time, but the kind of things that were on TV when I was a kid and stuff, or things that when I started getting into anime when I was a teenager, were things that you would get into. It reminds me of things like early 2000s shonen, or things like Soul Eater, or especially Fairy Tail, things like that. It is more of a school life, a bit of a slice of life comedy, more of a focus on that than any sort of action or adventure, though we get a little bit of that here and there. So it's more of that style, but it just has the same sort of vibe. It has the same sort of feeling, and I really, really, really like and appreciate that. So to go through some of the story arcs we did, first we start off with sort of the student council Ronove story arc, and I loved Ronove. I really, really thought that this entire thing, it was good for the characters, yeah, but I just thought it was so much fun. So starting us off with that was really good. Then we get into what was, it's hard to say between this and the Walter Park arc, but I think my favorite part might have been the sort of evil cycle Iruma arc, the classroom arc, where they're trying to get the classroom. I really liked and appreciated that one. It was so much fun. I liked it a lot because we got to see a little bit more of the teachers. I like the teachers, and I hope we get to see more of them in the future, but also because up until now, the other members of the class had, except for like our main characters, they had really been thrown in the background. They were super cool. I was so excited to meet them really and get to know more about them, but we hadn't really done too much of that. In this season, we started doing that, and I think that was really good, especially here. With this, I think Jazz got to do a little bit more during this arc, and again, it was good just seeing more of the characters. I liked that so much because for me, with these things, like with Hero Academia, I absolutely love Hero Academia. I want to see more of the whole class. I want to see more of these side characters. So I liked that a lot, especially for something like Iruma-kun, where it's way more focused on like the slice of life character comedy stuff. I think that works even more. And not even the teachers or the classmates, but also the random students from other classes. I think they're all so fun. So I think Eiko is her name. Whenever there's the gags with her, I think that's really fun. So all of that, I think, is really good. And it was probably my favorite arc because we got all of that. And when it comes to the evil Iruma-kun, I really liked that because to me, evil Iruma-kun was still just like not very evil. He was still just normal Iruma-kun, but he was more confident and more outgoing. So basically we get the good Iruma-kun that we all love, but we actually get him saying things to people that can actually get things done. We actually get him standing up for himself a little bit more. And I think that it was just really refreshing to have that. So that was a really fun arc, and I kind of hope Iruma-kun maybe grows more from that, because again, it was nice seeing a character that I already like, but him be a bit more effective with what he wants to do. We also get introduced to Balam Sensei, and then I really love Balam Sensei. He was one of, or Balam Sensei, I'm not really sure where to put the emphasis, but he was one of my favorite characters already. I loved him so much. And then when we get into the Walter Park arc, before that we get some like slice of life sort of end of terminus stuff. That was fun. But we get into the Walter Park arc. I was thinking maybe it'd be a water park, and I was like, oh cool, kind of like a water park arc sounds amazing. It's like better than a beach episode in concept, but it's just regular amusement park, and it was really, really good. I love these types of arcs. The kind of arc that we have with the students having to step up and fight against these villains who incur on the place where they're at. You know, you get these a lot in shonen, and I love this style of arc. So it was very fun. But one of the best parts is we had the students split up between Balam Sensei, Kaligo Sensei, and Opera. And they are three of my favorite characters. I love all three of them so much. So it was so fun getting to see the three of them interact with each other, interact with the students. So all of that, completely amazing. I really, really like that arc. It's hard for me to decide if I like that more than the sort of classroom evil cycle Iruma-kun. Which of those two I prefer? It's really difficult for me to choose between them. And then at the very, very end, we get some episodes that are like character-focused stuff. Stuff with Amari and Iruma, which was really fun. I really like all of the stuff with them. Stuff with Clara's family. Clara is one of my favorite characters, and her family is so fun. All of the jokes, all of the like side gags and everything with them is all really, really, really fun. I like all of that. So we get some like fun character-focused stuff that kind of pushes them forward and everything. I also, like to talk a little about the production quality. When I watched season 1, I absolutely loved that the art style looked so simple, so, not like retro, but, maybe like early 2000s sort of look to mid 2000s. Maybe Katekyo Hitman Reborn kind of vibes as well. I mentioned earlier things like Fairy Tail, but just that sort of like mid 2000s kind of shonen vibes. I really like that style, and it had that style. It seemed kind of simple, but the animation itself was like really detailed, and it looked really nice, like surprisingly good. This time around, I can't tell if it was like slightly less good or if it just wasn't surprising me with how good it was, but it was good. It was absolutely solid. It just, it isn't going to blow you away or anything. It's not one of those animation showcase kind of anime. So I did think it was good, though. For the opening and ending, I always like to talk about, I love the style. I feel like there are not really other openings that give me the same sort of feel that the Mairimashita Iruma-kun openings give me. That sort of vibe is really unique, and I really like that. The ending, too, was very good. I almost, because it was 20-some episodes long, I almost kind of wanted to, I'm being selfish, wanting 2 openings and endings, but they were very good. I really liked them. And honestly, I'm going to be watching Season 3 soon, so I'm excited to get to Season 3. That's sort of on my upcoming list of anime to get to. So, there's not going to be too long of a wait for me until I get to that. Also, I love at the end of the Tsukima, at the end of every episode. I love it so much. That's something else I forgot to even mention. I have like bullet point notes just in case I'm forgetting anything, but I didn't even put it in my notes. I love all of the Demon World puns. Like the matcha is so good. I love so many of the puns. It's so fun. The like world that it's set in is so fun to me. Another thing that I always do at my reviews toward the end here is I pick a favorite character, waifu, and relationship, and I try for multiple seasons to try to pick somebody new each time. But it was difficult before, and it's going to be even more difficult again, just because there's so many good characters and good relationships that picking my favorite out of them is going to be so difficult. and I mean waifu too, but that's like, not that any of this is serious, but it's a little less serious. So my favorite character is a tough one. I mentioned really liking Balam Sensei just kind of immediately. I like him a lot. And I also love Kalego and Opera. But even with all of them, I feel like my favorite character is either Azukun, who I haven't really even mentioned so far in the review. Azukun or Clara. One of the two are my favorite. I'm gonna maybe say that Clara is my favorite, but Azukun is so good. I really do love both of them a lot. So Asmodeus, Alice, or Clara, either one of those, but I'm going to go with Clara is my favorite character. Now, for top waifu, that's another difficult one. I think I said ex-Elizabetta last time, and again, or maybe I said Stola Sensei. I just like Stola Sensei too. The Hoi is so cute and funny. I would say ex-Elizabetta again. You know what? 7 mysteries of the school. How do, like, you have the panty lines coming up out of her skirt, but then they, like, wrap around and connected her lower back. It's like, okay, what's going on here? How do these work? And I'm going to be throwing pictures up as I'm talking about all this stuff throughout the review. So I'm going to throw up a picture when I talk about this, but, that's something that I kept noticing, like, whenever she was on screen. But I would say that she is kind of number one. Oh, but okay, so in my notes for that part of the thing, I said Elizabetta still, but then I also put down Clara's mom, Stola Sensei, and Opera-san. So there is that. Opera-san is Opera-san gender, but really falls within the sort of style and vibe that I tend to like a lot. So yeah, Opera-san, great too. As far as relationships go, the main trio is amazing. I love Clara and Sabnak too. Clara and Sabnak is such a fun relationship. Any of the main trio, their relationship with each other though. Clara and Azukun, Clara and Iruma, or Azukun and Iruma, all of them are just so fun together. I like any of those relationships. I have so many written down. Iruma and Balam, I really liked. Iruma and Sullivan. That's such a good relationship. I like Sullivan so much. He's such a good part of the story, part of the anime. Such a good inclusion. But my favorite, I'm going to say Kalego and Opera. Kalego and Opera is so fun. I'm going to say Kalego and Opera get the award here. But I really like all of those others too, especially the main trio. The main trio are so amazing. But I just personally like that one. I also personally like Clara and Sabnak a lot. They're so funny. But either way, that's all I've got. So if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this anime, what you thought of my, general thoughts here. Subscribe for more. I will be watching season 3 fairly soon. I have a backlog of well over a dozen anime review for anime that I finished, and I just need to get time to record and make into reviews and everything. So there's plenty more anime stuff coming, but also manga, webtoon, so much more on the channel. Subscribe if you want to. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you would like to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks or by sharing around, that's appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. And if you want to help support the channel and get One Piece bingo a bit early, I do One Piece bingo every week. So if you want to get that a bit early, and if you want to get your name at the end of videos, you can hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to chosen regulars Evan, Holly, and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, Evernono, JA, and the D-Ben, Jeriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stains Eater, and Pure Elements, Bater de Hall, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.